On the night of April 14, 1912, as the RMS Titanic cut silently through the icy North Atlantic, most passengers had no idea they were living the final hours of an era. The ship was brand new, the crossing smooth, and dinner that evening was meant to be a celebration of modern luxury. These weren't just dinners, they were statements. Every dish was designed to showcase wealth, confidence, and a belief that this ship was untouchable. And yet, many of the recipes used that night were never written down, never published, and never cooked again. When Titanic went down, an entire chapter of culinary history went with it. So, what exactly was served during Titanic's final dinner? And why did so many of those recipes vanish with the ship? Let's break it down right here on History of Simple Things. Titanic's kitchens were enormous by early 20th century standards. The ship employed over 60 kitchen staff, including chefs, bakers, butchers, and stewards, all working under tight schedules to feed more than 2,200 people. Food was not just nourishment, it was part of the illusion of safety and prestige. For first-class passengers, dinner wasn't a meal, it was theater. The most famous menu from Titanic's final night comes from first class, preserved thanks to survivors who kept printed copies as souvenirs. It was a lavish 10-course affair inspired by high French cuisine. This style of dining, known as service à la française, emphasized presentation, excess, and indulgence. Wealthy passengers expected food that rivaled London's finest hotels, and Titanic was determined to deliver. Dinner began with hors d'oeuvres, including oysters served on the half-shell. Oysters were considered a luxury at the time, especially when served fresh at sea. They were followed by consommé Olga, a clear beef broth flavored with scallops and named after a Russian dish popular in elite European circles. These soups weren't heavy. They were designed to awaken the appetite for what was coming next. Fish followed, likely poached salmon served with a mousseline sauce, a rich blend of egg yolks, butter, and cream. Salmon was a staple of fine dining in 1912, symbolizing abundance rather than simplicity. After this came entrees that showed off the kitchen's technical skill: filet mignon lily, sautéed chicken lyonnaise, and vegetable marrow farci, a stuffed squash dish seasoned with herbs and breadcrumbs. One of the most intriguing dishes from the final dinner was lamb with mint sauce, a classic British favorite that balanced tradition with refinement. Mint sauce wasn't the bottled condiment we know today. It was freshly prepared with vinegar and chopped herbs. Each dish reflected a careful blend of British comfort and French culinary influence, the hallmark of luxury dining at the time. But the centerpiece of the evening was roast duckling with applesauce and sirloin of beef with chateau potatoes. Chateau potatoes were hand-cut, football-shaped pieces of potato, fried and glazed in butter. Every single one had to be shaped by hand, a detail that speaks volumes about the labor behind the meal. Dessert was no less extravagant. Pastries included Waldorf pudding, named after the Waldorf Astoria Hotel, a symbol of elite New York society. There were peaches in chartreuse jelly, flavored with a French herbal liqueur, and eclairs filled with cream. The final course offered fresh fruits, nuts, and cheese, meant to linger over with coffee and cigars as the evening stretched on. Yet for all its grandeur, many of Titanic's recipes were never formally recorded. At the time, professional kitchens relied heavily on experience rather than written instructions. Measurements were often by feel, passed down orally from chef to apprentice. When Titanic sank, it took with it not just food, but culinary knowledge that existed only in the minds of those who prepared it. What's particularly haunting is the timing. As first-class diners finished dessert, Titanic struck the iceberg at 11:40 p.m. Some survivors later recalled that the collision felt minor, barely enough to interrupt conversation. Stewards reportedly reassured passengers that everything was fine, even as kitchens began to shut down and staff were redirected to emergency duties. The chefs and kitchen workers played an often overlooked role in the disaster. Some were tasked with bringing food to lifeboats to keep passengers calm. Others helped distribute bread and water during evacuation efforts. Several kitchen staff members survived, but many did not. And with them, the unwritten knowledge of Titanic's meals vanished. In recent decades, historians and chefs have attempted to recreate Titanic's final dinner using surviving menus, period cookbooks, and knowledge of Edwardian cooking techniques. These reconstructions reveal just how rich and heavy the food was by modern standards. Butter, cream, and animal fats dominated while vegetables played a supporting role. Portion sizes were generous, reflecting an era when excess equaled success. Today, fragments of Titanic's culinary history still surface. Menu cards are auctioned for tens of thousands of dollars. Some White Star Line recipe books have survived, offering clues to how certain dishes might have been prepared. Museums even recreate Titanic-themed dinners, allowing modern guests to taste history, though usually without the looming sense of doom. The lost recipes of Titanic remind us that history isn't just made of dates and disasters, it's made of ordinary human moments. People laughing over soup, couples sharing dessert, stewards clearing plates, unaware that they were participating in a moment that would echo for more than a century. In the end, Titanic's final dinner wasn't lost because it sank beneath the ocean. It was lost because it belonged to a time that vanished with it. A time when luxury meant butter-rich sauces, handwritten menus, and the belief that progress was unstoppable. And for a few fleeting hours, as crystal glasses clinked and orchestras played softly nearby, that belief tasted absolutely perfect. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.